Hello, viewer. Welcome to the chat. Looks like it's 1:51 a.m. and cold. My dude. TCP, finally. What's that about? What's up, Roy? Flaccid Schlong, welcome back. Uncle Beans, howdy. Mr. Erickson. What's up, Seth? Hey, Justin, you want to give me a Linktree post that I can pin? Hello, Raffalander. Taylor64, do I remember? I'm going to say that I do. What's up there, Pepperman and Woodolphin 4? It's almost 7 p.m. in Alaska. Nice. Looks like it's 1:53 a.m. here and about 20-something degrees. Thank you, Justin. Pardon me while I do some housekeeping. Bada bing. There we go. What's up, Spline? Nuke Booster 470. Mr. Nicholas, how are you? Taylor, what am I smoking today? I have one of the budget series in the Oliva Series O. It's pretty good though. Matthewson, how are you? I can live stream but can't DM. That's true. It's a different technology. Speed Cola. It's 39 there? What do you mean, 39 o'clock? My new PFP in background. Oh, on YouTube? I can't remember what I've done that's new. Minnesota below 10. Yeah, it's pretty cold here too. I mean, the land where I'm at is, they named it to make it sound like it was a really nice place, when in fact it's just cold all the time. Taylor, your friend tried to get in cigars? That's cool. It's a rabbit hole. I'm old, that does work. Kane, 11 p.m. in Tennessee, very nice. Puffing this too much here. I should probably have a fire out here when I do this one of these days. I keep forgetting to do that. Turns out fire is hot and kind of solves this cold problem. So what are y'all doing? Just hanging out, working? What are you doing? Drum tab someday? Yeah, maybe someday. Watch any good shows or movies lately? I mean, if there are any to be had, I've been watching older stuff. I think I said I watched the show Bosch recently. I marathoned that. I've been watching, I just got Undercover Billionaire and just started watching that. It's really interesting to me. I like that show. Attempting to write a research paper. What are you researching? Playing video games. Ah. Watching Berserk. I don't know what that is. Just had a bowl and I'm going to practice. Right. A bowl of what? Like Lucky Charms? Jimothy, welcome. You know, I see your check mark and I remember when I used to have a check mark on here, but now I don't. I have a music note now. I have transcended my earthly checkmark form. There Will Be Blood? Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, There Will Be Blood. Daniel Day-Lewis is awesome. I actually watched a movie with him recently called The Phantom Thread. It's not the same vein, but he's just so good at portraying the character that you just believe you're watching real life. A salad bowl. You like the drowning verses? That's cool, thanks. Well, the music note, the problem with the music note is that when I'm in live streams and I comment, it doesn't show it there, like the check mark. So how am I supposed to be cool when I'm chatting on YouTube? The artist formerly known as Checkmark, yeah. Berserk's an anime. Oh, okay, I see. Inspired Dark Souls, I didn't know that. Have you guys, if we're talking about movies here, have you all watched the movie Mandy with Nicolas Cage? That's a weird one. I'm a music maker. I'm the dreamer of the dreams. Absolute Zero, hello. Watching Willow Alone was a great song. Thank you very much. Can you ask love advice? Of course you can ask. You can ask anything you want. I don't know if I'll have an answer. I've seen 8mm a long time ago. Disturbing movie. So, Kane, have you seen Beyond the Black Rainbow, the same director? You missed out on the recent Cage films. You should watch the movie Pig that he did recently. It's good. Am I the one in all my songs? I don't know what you mean. Not singing. But perhaps I am the perspective of all my songs. Do you have any tips for getting a good mix in your songs? Nowadays, I would say look for people who analyze mixes of bands that you like. You really have to understand that your source is going to determine your final mix, because a lot of times I used to, and I think a lot of people make this mistakes, they'll say they like Metallica, and they go off and they have their own gear and they write their own songs that don't sound anything like what Metallica sounds like, and then they want their mix to sound like Metallica, and it doesn't. Mixes you have just exemplified and cleaned, and then mastering is an even smaller increment afterwards. Can you, love advice, here we go. Can you miss the way you felt about a person without feeling the same for that person? Yeah. I think that's called romanticizing. I think that falls into that category. But yeah, sure. Missing the feeling, or that's also nostalgia. I think that's kind of what nostalgia is. Missing the feeling of something back in a time that you romanticize later. Yes, the electric triangle. Physical copies of the anthologies? I'm not sure about that. You guys refer to becoming the one, even from the song. Well, that's more related to the metaphors of what they're talking about. Houston, you're terrible at COD. Get good. Marvel Zombies music I learn and sing the lyrics. Right on. Thank you very much. Matthewson? Padahin? Did I say that right? Probably not. How do I progress this weird riff bridge? Yeah, that should be on my crest. I don't know. How do you progress a part that you have? That is the tricky part, is how do you get there? My technique for that is I try to, I have to make it feel new, which means I need to not think about it. And there's a certain point of the day where I'm my most active and creative, and it's usually like 10 a.m. ish, after coffee's kicked in, and I go up there and I get everything ready and turned on, and then I get ready. And when I hit play, I listen to it and I expect to just know what comes after it. And if I don't, I try it a couple more times. And if I don't get it in a couple tries, I shut it off and I leave and I try again maybe half a day later or maybe 24 hours later until I just nail it. Buenas noches. Yeah, the bridge is a weird thing. Do you also wake up at 2 a.m.? So, I'm older than I was before now. So when I was younger than I am, I would often write a lot of the songs in the very early morning. That's a second spurt of creativity. Once you get that, people call it the second wind when you stay up too late. That's a time when I can write as well. It's when I feel like the entire world is asleep and there's no one around. I can write then, but I don't do that much anymore because it just burns me out. MG, Minnesota. I hear it's pretty cold there right now. Penny, what was my favorite zombie song I made? I always say I don't know, I can't pick. It's hard for me to favorite, to say I like the things that I made. So lately I kind of say, I don't know, I like saying what I liked about certain ones. Like Stormbound was just such a oddball one with a bunch of cool ports that I was able to get, I don't know, to convey an aesthetic or a theme or a feel that I was going for that I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do. And it came together. Dead Flowers had an interesting writing process, but I don't have a favorite. And Phantom asking me if I am a fan of Silent Hill. Yeah, I never played any of the games. I watched one of my roommates back in college, Corey, play one of them, and I liked the vibe. It was one of those times where I'd wish I had played it originally to have the nostalgia feeling about it, but since I didn't, I only saw it after the fact, so. Do I like the sound for Noctur and Toten I made for Wah? Yeah, I suppose I like it. Seven Sins, I'm addicted to Shockwave right now. I'm glad you like that tune. I've probably mentioned this a few times, but Shockwave, Mystery, and Drowning were all written simultaneously. It's the only time I've ever done that, where I had to ship 3 songs at the same time. So like all the, kind of the mix, the instruments, and the drum kit were all the same for all 3 of those. Thank you, Penny. Kane, do you think you could collab with A7X? I mean, I could, but they're a giant. I'm a niche, so they would have to come to me and want to do that. It's not like I can say, "Hey, let's collab," and they'll want to do it. They're doing their own thing. Well, thanks, Matthewson. Matthewson. Shmeeby. What are your favorite metal rock bands, or what artists do you take inspirations from? So many. Try not to always say the same ones. Let me see, who else? I always say King Diamond because that's true. Megadeth, Chopin, Alice Cooper. I need to write down a list and then randomly pick a few every time someone asks me that. So there's, hundreds. Devin, how'd you come up with the lyrics for the song Mystery? Well, taking the story into consideration, and obviously I can't say too much. And then I used a book that the metaphors, some ideas of the book are metaphors that lead back to the personalities of the story. Yeah, Devin Townsend's cool. I mean, I wouldn't say he's such an inspiration because he's much later in my timeline, so I'm already writing at that point and kind of set in my ways. No, actually, that's not true. I'm glad you brought that up. There is something in his, God, what was that, 5, 8 years ago when he released those several albums after he kind of went away for a while. Um, there's one thing I did get inspired by him was him landing on the leading tone, like on the one, doing some melody and the vocals and then just lands on the leading tone. I was like, that's really cool. So I guess I actually did take direct inspiration from it. I'd forgotten it until just now. Thanks, a floppy pancake. Thanks, Kane. Why were the zombie sounds changed? Just trying to upgrade things after a while. They just get, older sounds. We clean up things, and there's a lot of, Brian Toohey and Colin Ayers' work that goes into the zombie sound effects. A lot of them. My nick is a Brazilian nickname. Okay, Matthew. But it is kind of like Mateusen, right? I'm not going to try and say it again. You low-key rock the Devin Townsend haircut. I think a lot of people rock the haircut just from hormone disruption. Razaki, how are you? I'm good. I'm glad you're here, Jimpathy. It's been too long. Jimpathy and I used to trade tweets and YouTube comments back in the day. And there's this ocean of dead space between then and now where, I kind of left the internet for a while, sort of. What was the hardest song to produce at the time? Difficulty, for whatever reason. Dead Flowers I mentioned a lot. And actually Lost was difficult. Very difficult. Like everything about it was difficult. Kyle, you are terrible at COD. Get good. Kyle. Okay, I'm pronouncing it right. That's good to know. Yeah, Dead Flowers is crazy different. It was because we just took that little melody I had from 9 years prior, and James and I were sending it back to see what it would just kind of turn into. We didn't know what it was going to be. That's what's kind of fun about that stuff. Were the iconic Treyarch COD zombie sounds actually made by Treyarch employee voices, or were they pulled from some library? Well, when it comes to voice, I can't comment because I half don't remember and I half have to be careful. Lost Dead Flowers, yeah. Graveyard, honor to see you as well. Yeah, playing Last of Us, I mean, I think so. Oh yeah, I was going to say why Lost was difficult, because it might seem kind of weird. It's not a very long song. It's got some cool stuff, but it may not sound that complex. Craig Houston wrote a song, and essentially James and I were given it with some direction to reorchestrate it into something, but without really we weren't really sure what we were going to do with it yet. So James and I actually mocked up a couple of completely different genre style things to it at first, but they weren't into that, and they wanted to get the vibe of like, where are we going? And none of you've heard the original song. It's nothing like what Lost is now. It wasn't even named that. And so James and I had to come up with some way to turn this in. We weren't writing the lyrics or the vocals or recording them. They were getting recorded and then sent to us. And the notes that the vocalist was singing really had nothing to do with the way that we were writing it. So we were completely rearranging it harmonically. And so we had to do a lot of pitching and delays to put it into the scales that we were using. And it was just, and we had both just moved at that time, and doing it remotely, it was just really complicated. But it came out cool. We ended up doing some cool stuff and learning a lot. Personal favorite game of all time or favorites? Yeah, mine, a lot of it is nostalgia growing up. The Dragon Warrior series, the original Final Fantasies, up till 7, US 7. And then I really was into Diablo 2, and then Warcraft 3. And then, I like really Dark Souls, COD, of course. But yeah. Brazil game show that happens on Sao Paulo. Some COD fans appear in this event. Oh yeah, man, I'd come to Brazil at some point. You guys cook a lot of meat there, I hear, right? I could get like a bunch of plantains and a bunch of barbecue. Because if that's so, I might come out there. Do I ever take in consideration how long the songs are when writing them? Yeah, no, that's the funny thing. I get told, like, let's make this one a little bit shorter, but I can't. Like, they always end up like 5 to 7 minutes usually. A live concert, maybe someday. I remember waiting up for the Bo songs. Man, I remember excited to do that. That was a good time. Thanks, Phantom. Thank you, Justin, for your calculation. Diablo 2 was my uncle's first game he helped me work on. Oh, God, Diablo 2. I missed so many college classes for that game. Our neighbors complained to us. We thought no one could hear us because we were in the crappiest basement apartment of this building. It wasn't even meant to be an apartment. And I remember one night we played all night long, and we were, in 3 different rooms, and we were just yelling to each other when we were fighting on hard or nightmare mode. And the next day, they came down like the girl and her roommate, and they're like, "Hey, we just want to talk to you. Like, we have to get up for work, and we could hear you guys yelling at monsters." And we're like, "Oh, sorry." Anyway, that was Diablo. Have you ever want to make a 10-minute song? I would, if the song goes that way. Covering songs from other games. I don't do many covers because I need way more free time to do stuff like that. I would like to cover something at some point, but the problem is like each time I make a song, I have a chance to make one, and I'd just rather it be my own. Referencing other song titles and lyrics felt so hyped to me. Soundtrack my high school, right on. I like doing that. I like twisting the story around and referencing things because it was important to what they meant. The Zombies tour someday, come to Mexico. You have to get Maluka to house me if I come down to Mexico. My voice goes to Dyer's Eve. What do you mean? Oh, vote. Is that a cover? You have to remember, I don't know much games or music or what's happening or people's names or how to do stuff. Oh, and Justice for All. God, I forgot. I was like, that sounds really familiar. I doubt I would ever cover a Metallica song. I wouldn't even know what to do. See, if I were to cover something, it would probably be something that's non-metal because it's, I don't know. I always feel weird covering something that's too close to the sound of what I'm making. I like to cover things that are, I mean, I don't know if you notice, like my whole deal is like juxtaposition. I mean, that's what Elena was in the beginning. You remember, it's like a lilting sort of lullaby style female voice over discordant guitar sound in metal kit. Do Maluka and Elena have social medias? They definitely do. Elena's got a YouTube channel. Maluka definitely has a YouTube channel. I mean, on my YouTube channel right here, if you go to like my main page, I should have channels, and I think I have them listed there. Elena's got, I think she has Instagram and a Twitter. Maluka definitely does. Maluka's pretty active, and she also does Twitch. I didn't really work with Avenged Sevenfold when they made their tracks. You know, they came in and to talk to us about it. But, you know, in the end, they just said, we're going to go off and write a song. And they just wanted to check in about the story and like the vibe. And, you know, we just answered any questions they had, and then they just went and did their thing. Clark Nova does have some social media. I don't think he's very active on it. Hence my upward inflection means I don't know. But he does have them. His are kind of cool because when he does, like, I think tweet or post maybe on Facebook and Instagram, it's very rare. So you can catch him like once a year. He's like a leap year sort of. That was Kane. That was the one. I didn't Ryuzaki. I didn't know about that either. That's pretty funny. There you go. Justin posted the Malukas channel there. Justin is the linker of links. Have I heard of Flesh Consumed? I have not. They sound off. It's funny with YouTube, you know, I hadn't done a live stream in forever. So the first one I do, 100 people come, and then it's like 90, and then it's like 80, and it goes down. I feel like YouTube blasts them out less and less. They want to do things. I think they want me to do a live stream only so often, and they want me to post shorts, and they want me to post regular videos. There's some formula to the maximize who gets notified. Or it could be the times and days I'm picking too, who knows. Push notifications, yeah. It's just like, why don't they just tell everybody? That's a Chucky question. Why? Why do you say that? Thanks, Justin. Yeah, I'm going to take a bunch of time off pretty soon and try to get all my stuff organized and, you know, get my plans, like my tab book ready to get out and maybe get some merch rolling, you know, get a plan so that I can do stuff in a more organized way. Oh, probably knows the answer. Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe I should ask him. What band or song you've listened to where you went, damn, this shit sucks? Let me think about that one for a minute. Yeah, she did the Reignite song. She did it for your friend? What do you mean? Are the songs related to characters? Yeah, mostly, but I can't. that's something I don't give away. I'm famous convict. Who's Olivia O? Is she here? Would you describe your music taste as? I mean, growing up, I always called it metal. That was easy because everyone just kind of assumed what that meant. But now, you can't just say metal. I don't know. There's got to be a better short description. Because in what I think metal is this kind of like intense emotional edge that can come through in a bunch of different ways. So it doesn't have to be loud guitars and blast beats, and sometimes stuff with that doesn't have that edge either, even though it sounds like it should. I don't know. I probably have to write a paper about that, don't I? Pineapple. I'm glad you can make it out. We try to sneak in streams and see if we can have a stream and have you not know about it as a goof in Discord. Nah, I'm just kidding. We don't do that. That implies I plan any of this. Have you seen the world's fastest guitar player? Well, so there was a while where everyone was doing faster and faster Flight of the Bumblebee, but there's a lot of editing and a lot of slop out there too. In my opinion, and I'm pretty safe in saying this, probably the best plectrum electric guitar player ever, I think, and he's alive right now, is Anton O'Parin. That's my opinion. Number 2 is Teemu Mentisare. He would probably disagree with me, but he's nasty, dude. Now, Teemu is a far better writer and musician all around, but Anton O'Parin is a freak of nature. Graveyard, yes, I listen to a lot of non-metal stuff. Metal stuff. I mean, primarily that's what I like to listen to, metal, but I like to get things that are not metal and, essentially arrange them for metal. Because I think if the substance of the song isn't there, then it's something I'm not into. It says on Apple Music, Jack Wall produced Snakeskin Boots. Yep. Did you any form of involvement with the song? No, all the jazz stuff was Jack 100%. Any Japanese artists you like? I mean, the only one I know really is, Final Fantasy Nobuo Uematsu, just because I played that growing up. So I learned a lot of music stuff from him and from Corey, who studied him and showed me a lot about that. What? Doom metal. I like doom metal. I think. I like the feel of it. It's a very ambient vibe. It gets across to. I keep using the word vibe. I hate that. I gotta get a better word, but I like what they do. It's almost like a film score. Go Tanks, thank you. Hope you're having a great week too. Shmeeby, will you ever have Darren on another COD Zombies track? Maybe. What's your fastest you can headbang? Let's see. Not very fast. Locust, hi. Are we back? Are we here? Did that work? I have one Unify access point for my entire house right now. I should probably hook up another one. Do I feel flattered, honored to be the one to invent a new genre, zombie metal, Z metal? I feel I feel fortunate to have been able to make somewhat of a living from music and doing what I like to do. Yeah, I know. I just got the connection just hiccuped there, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but looks like we're okay. If you could describe each game with your songs, which is the best one for each game? Like which? Oh, I don't know. I don't know how I would do that. Do you mean like one song per game? Which song that I wrote for each game kind of defines it? Like I guess Bow 1 would have to be 115 or Damned. I wrote Damned and 115 for Bow 1. Lullaby is probably be Wah. I don't know. What do you think actually? Unlucky Morpheus or something something? No, I haven't. Does Clark sing with a British accent in Stormbound? Yeah, I mean, so there's a little lime in the some of the words. I know what you mean, and it just we do that sometimes. Like I said, Clark's whole vocal style that we do is characters, and sometimes it just makes sense for some reason to do something strange, and there is some British sounding stuff in there. Devin, I thought Alone was awesome. You and Clark no really captured the right theme. Right on. That was a weird one too. I didn't know where that one was going to go. And I've said this to some of you, but if you listen to Echoes of the Damned, that first big theme that builds up after about around a minute to a minute and 15 seconds, that first main theme is the Alone theme, and that's what I took and then used to write Alone. Panzer plays Dead Again's a banger. Right on. Thanks. Does Clark cough at the end of Dead Ended? Maybe. I wouldn't get rid of it. Dead Ended has a bunch of rim shots that I didn't notice until after we were done with the song, and I was just like, I'll leave it in there. The rim shots where I meant there to be snare hits. Kane. Yeah, I can see that. Waz, Lullaby, Bow 1, 115, Bow 2, Always Running, Bow 3, Dead Flowers, Bow 4, Stonebound, Cold War Alone. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What's my favorite soundtrack? Probably Diablo 2. The overworld and the cinematics. Have I listened to any of Marty Friedman's solo music? I used to have the cassette tape of Cacophony with him and Jason Becker. Used to listen to it all the time. But other than that, no. Xavier, was he a guitar zombie boss? I doubt it. Yeah, you want some really great ambient music, game music, you should download or stream the Diablo 2 album, Matt Ullman. I'm still friends with him. I actually sought him out when I went out to California because I was so into the game, and we've been friends ever since. He's an amazing musician. Yeah, I find out crazy the Blizzard animations were in 2010. I found it the other day. I have the DVD. I bought it a long time ago of just the cinematics from Diablo 2. Bought it separate from the game. There was just the DVD of it. The story, it's amazing. It's like a little mini movie, and it's amazing still. Oh, the dead ended verse drums, yeah. M Phantom, I have not heard of whatever that is. Have you ever been to Nam? Yes. I did. I posted some stuff on Instagram. It was, I believe it was 2019 or 2020. I was there. I was there with Temu and Corey. Am I a Grand Theft Auto fan? Yeah, I like it. I owned a couple of them back in the day. I didn't. I mean, I had 5. I didn't play it that much. I can't commit enough time to to games that require a lot of time anymore. That's the thing. It's if you want to create content, you have to start consuming less content. Otherwise, it's easy to get lost. I could just sit there and play, WoW or WoW or Skyrim all day instead of writing. Have I played any other Rockstar games? I haven't. I never played Red Dead, or wasn't there something else? I don't remember. They're great. I'm sure they're great. It's so strange now. Like in high school, I was like the nerdy guy who played video games. And now everyone plays video games, and I don't play that much anymore. I guess it's weird to even call it video games now, huh? Yeah, playing WoW all day and all night. I first got introduced to that. It was post college before moving to California to work for games. I was like working at a furniture store, and the regional manager, he's like, I've been playing this game called World of Warcraft, and it comes with a disc that you can give to somebody. It's like a demo disc, and you can play it for a while. So he gave it to me. And I didn't come into work the next day. And he's like, look, I know why you didn't come in. He's like, it's fine, but you got to start showing up. And after that, I just could not get enough of it. Red Dead Alvarez, yeah. I mean, I've seen clips of it, and I know people who love it. And yeah, Alice Madness Returns. I don't even know what that is. Does Treyarch work with other studios a lot? Well, you can see, like, if you look at the credits, you can see all the studios that we work with. Did you ever play any classic games like Punch-Out or Streets of Rage? Yeah, I played those when they first came out. I played Super Mario Brothers the day it released in the US because my neighbor across the street, his uncle, got him a Nintendo. He was the first one who had it. And that's all we wanted to do after that. Before that, I was playing ColecoVision games because that's all I had. Imagine someone challenging you to a guitar battle and it's really a Rocksmith game. How many more years for you do you think you'll make Zombies tracks before you change studios, or spooky as it may be, hang up the guitar? I'll probably never hang up the guitar, or music, because I don't know. It's almost like I have to do it. It's like eating or breathing. I don't know. Roy hooking up the Ibanez 8, very nice. It's basically Alice in Wonderland, but Wonderland is completely effed up with a very shocking conclusion. Cool. Sounds cool. I feel like COD Zombies in a casino would go crazy in the East and would go hard. Yeah, that could be cool. Cringe Master 69420. I like your name. Bring me 115. Did I play Pokemon? No. I was never into Pokemon, as by the time it came out, I was already older than 6 years old. Olivia, welcome. One archivist, how's it going? And I'm just kidding, Pokemon fans. Well, actually, I'm not, but I mean no ill will. Have I seen any Kiyoshi Kurosawa films? I don't think so. What are they called? Is it something in Japanese? And probably not. Halo collab. Am I a Yu-Gi-Oh fan? No. I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan. It's pretty cold. It's pretty cold. 2:40 a.m. and it's got to be lower than 30 or 20 right now. I haven't seen those. What's his deal? Yeah. Yeah, I got fire, gloves, hat. Cold War, the only COD with music player. Yeah, I don't know. The music player is a tough thing to manage and implement, so we've got to figure that out. 30, it's raining. Oof. Yeah, the location, I have the location on my stream in Newt. Do you guys still watch a lot of zombie streams? And if so, who's the streamer that you watch that still does them? Just curious. Underweight makes it, yeah, I could wear 7 layers and still be cold. Yeah. I thought Sans was bad. I say it because he wish the other CODs had it too. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. He does some zombie streams. Okay. Just videos. Yeah, I know there's not. I even like look for them a lot of times. I like jumping in random zombie streams, but they're few and far between. I'm retraining my brain on playing Stormbound with C# tuning, and it's pretty sick. Cool. Like the idea streams don't have the brain power to stay focused. Yeah, same here. FaZe Jeff is the only guy you watch other than me. Krups. Yeah, I think I've watched him before. Mr. T Lexify is great. Yeah, I think T-Lexify is probably the most consistent zombies streamer of the old crew, right? Because the other guys have moved on to other stuff mostly, except when there's like a new release or something. I might be wrong about that. Why were the Easter egg songs so edgy? I don't know. It must be how I am. You think there should be a standalone Call of Duty Zombies game? If they ever do, I pray that you and everyone are involved. That would be cool, huh? Is Noah's main focus DJing now? That's kind of crazy, huh? Good for him. Waffle still covers zombies. That's true. I see that too. I know they do still cover it. I think Lex is probably all zombies all the time. It seems. Have I ever worked with A7X? Well, for the songs they wrote back then, they came in and talked to us about it, and then wrote the songs. But that was the only capacity that I worked with them. Kyle, you make the best music. You're the only music creator I follow. Right on. Thanks. Mr. Rogel Waffles is my Easter egg guide. Cool. He sounds cool. Internet misspellings bring me joy. Olivia, okay. You snack and sleep. Have a good night. Devin, before I go, I want to say thank you for everything you contributed in the past 10 years. Call of Duty. Casually go on walks and listen to zombie songs almost every other day. It's awesome. Thank you. Anyone playing other games? Nice. Mr. Love your work. I play the Easter egg instrumentals songs when I study. Awesome. Hopefully they help you study. Do I enjoy making COD music? I do. At first, it's terrifying, and then it's great when I'm done with it. I know some people chew on cigars. I don't. I feel like it falls apart too quick, so I don't really chew on them. I try to actually puff them as infrequently as possible, because the goal is to keep the ember as cool as you can without it going out for maximum flavor. But when I'm live streaming, I don't think about it, and I just keep smoking it until it's gone and I don't realize it. Is Easter egg song making Easter egg song depending on time, or if your boss says to make one? Well, I mean, we have a schedule when, like in past games where, I know when the maps are coming out, we're watching them being developed, and once I know a gist of the story, I start working on it. And they need to come out when the map comes out, so that's when it has to happen. Whether or not they ask me, I know it has to happen, so I just, start when I'm ready. I don't know why, but when I put COD Zombies music, when I do homework, I do it fire right on, or just work in general. Binary, I don't know if you realized it, but your songs are an integral part of many people's childhoods and zombies, including mine. Both three got me through 8th grade, which was shitty. Genuinely, thank you. Thanks, man. Yeah, middle school was a tough time. I remember those days. I really dig Krup's Wah Records. Shino Numa record was around 11,482. Is that legit? Because that's insane and amazing. Have to peel this label off here. Luchu 616. Good night, Kevin. Hey, man. Thank you for the donation. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us here, and I hope to see you at a later stream. But thank you very much, man. crazy how well these games age. A couple months ago, Bo 3 was in the top 10. I saw that. Yeah. I mean, it blows my mind. That's happened to us a few times, post-launch year for us, or even 2 years later, some of our previous games will be up in the top whatever. Then, of course, you have GTA, which they experience that quite a bit, which is also insane. If you sit still, it'll look like the stream froze. Yeah, it probably will. I think it would be cool to have a song that's not a typical Kevin Sherwood song. Like what? And I don't know, like, do I have a typical song? I try not to be so drastically different song to song, but I can't help it, and they end up being very different. Phantom, also same here. You're the first domino of my music journey, which I want to pursue in my life. I was around 12, turning 19. Right on, man. Quality over quantity. Yeah, that's my excuse for not writing that much. Kane, man, appreciate it. Rate your top 3 zombies maps. Well, mine are all going to be nostalgia based because I'm not that good of a player, so I'm not like I can get to highest rounds on this or that. But for me, number 1 is the original Noct because that's where it began. I was in playing zombies and helping develop it before anyone knew what it was even going to be. It's just hard. Doris, that's when I actually played the most before I had no time to play anything ever again. And, okay, and Verrucht, because I put a lot of work into that with everybody else, and again, that's when it was just picking up speed, and that's when we put the first song in there. So, yeah, Noct, Doris, Verrucht. Watch Krups, yeah. It's harder than it looks. It looks hard. Ryuzaki, welcome back. I think you have a specific style that noticeably changes through the games. Yeah, there must be. I must have some similarities. Even if I write something slow or fast, there's things that just make sense to me that are inevitably going to come out when I write anything. I imagine if I write any style, there's going to be something that you might say, maybe Kevin wrote that. Or maybe techno or a different style. I see. Just try to. I've wanted to actually try something, like write like an 80s pop song. Just through my musical filter and just see what happens. I'm in my house porch. Yes. I've never thought about putting vocals into WTF. You're gonna go. All right, Migs. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. There's a time when I believed you played the drums for Abra and Archangel. I think it was probably because of the way I was labeling the credits in the videos. I hated doing the video credits. It just was such an arduous task, and I just didn't like doing it. So I would just copy and paste from the previous video to the next one, and it was eventually just the least amount of writing possible, and it was all instruments. Kevin Sherwood was easier than me saying like programming the drums and then playing I was just like one short sentence. How long did it take to make 115? Probably a couple months, but there was a long break in between because I had the first part written at the end of WA, and then I didn't pick it back up again until near the end of development of Bo 1. I think that's right. Pineapple, yeah. Get some sleep, man. Thanks for coming out. Yeah, we were doing so much more ambient stuff back then, and we wanted to make, because we didn't even know what the vibe of zombies was even back then. We were starting to put like the concept of first-person vocalists, like you were a character, was just starting to emerge, and we were assuming zombies was going to be like, realistic horror at that time, but it turned out to not really be that. But we didn't know at that point. Fun time gamey, how's it going? First Zombies Outbreak. Bo2 and playing zombies, listening to the perk jingles, gotta continue. Instrument, longest time to record. Well, actually, writing the drums takes the longest. I do more work on the drums than I think anything. Air Cookie, thank you very much. What song did you write the fastest? Coming Home. I've never scrapped or shelved a song, I don't think. I've had to commit every time I start one, just because of timeline. The drummer in Archangel realized that he was hitting notes faster than the score. Yeah, that's just how he plays. You should go to his channel and see all the stuff he does. That's the genre he's in. Krups has currently been streaming to beat the Wah Knox current record. I didn't know that. Like, is he streaming right now? I assume does he pause and then like pick up later, or does he just go until he does it? Or is it like, I don't know. You know what I'm asking. Gravity Blast, yeah. He doesn't, Darren doesn't like calling it Gravity Blast. He likes calling them blast rolls, but yes, that is the thing. A band or artist that you would love to collab? I don't know. Maybe I'm already talking to some artists. We'll have to wait and see. Whenever I hear Abra Macabra, it sounds like dogs dancing. Interesting. Excuse me. Never mind. Why does it sound like dogs dancing? That's funny. I found your lyric vid of Lullaby of a Dead Man. I listened to every other song you posted. I missed the Bo2 days, but I'm glad I can sort of experience it now. Thanks for the memories. Yeah, right on. Fun time gamey rebooted. Yeah, there's a lot of people, who weren't ever into zombies and are just now hearing the songs for the first time and playing the game for the first time, and they're having fun like we used to back in the day, so it's good to hear. If that man played zombies for 5,000 consecutive rounds with no pausing, it would go to Steelers. Okay, yeah, I see. The answer is obvious. Gotcha. What was my favorite gun in COD Zombies? I mean, the ray gun, but maybe of non-wonder weapon would be... I was always partial to the... What was the shotgun back in the original? Was it the Olympia? Probably that. Or probably an LMG, in higher rounds. There's an episode of SpongeBob, I know what you're talking about. There's a talking sea cucumber named Kevin, and yeah, I've seen an episode, and I had people posting that to me on Twitter a long time ago when that first came out. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. Worst injury I've ever sustained. I haven't had anything too bad. I've been knocked out before. Had a broken nose from getting hit in the face. Football, almost broke my shoulder. Hurt some ligaments weightlifting. And nothing too major. I don't know. Probably a back injury like in high school football. Enjoying your work ever since WA. Still listen to it after, 15 years? Thank you for the amazing tracks. Happy to finally have the remaining tracks on Spotify. Replex, right on, man. Happy they're out there. I never met George Romero, no. Do I still do work for COD, Activision, Treyarch? Yeah, I still work for Treyarch. I've been working for them for Activision since 2005. So I was technically a Volt contractor as a QA tester, and then eventually hired by Treyarch in 2006, I think. But yeah, I've been working there since 2005. Their top 3 songs are Always Running, Abra, Stormbound. Right on. That's an interesting mix. Yeah, Stormbound usually doesn't make it into people's top, which is okay. It's okay. I don't know why I like that, why I dig that tune. And make sure I don't set my gloves on fire here too. Gotta be careful. That'd make for an interesting stream though. What's the biggest gun I've ever shot? You can actually go to my Instagram through my pinned Linktree comment, and you can see me firing a Dishka. A Dishka. It's kind of like a 50 cal. I mean, that's the biggest, like, you know, non-cannon I've fired. Or the Madus, 50 cals. Fired tanks, artillery. Why doesn't any of the off Treyarch Zombies modes? Well, I mean, I do most stuff for Treyarch, and it's probably just because of time limit or whatever. I feel working the greatest COD of all time is your first big project. I mean, didn't know at the time. So much luck went into just where I was and when I was, so grateful, I guess. That's the lame answer. Listen to any cyberpunk music? No, I probably should. I imagine that's probably pretty cool. I haven't been playing zombies myself or anything at all myself. I never streamed my own games. I join other people playing it, usually. What are your favorite music genres? I know all types of metal, but I mean anything. Pop can be cool. It's few and far between, especially now. I think, harmonically, I think modern music is just boring. Metal has picked up some, is very complex, almost jazz-like and cool. But there's specific things I like, and I don't hear a lot of it anymore. Fired cannons? Yeah, like lots of cannons and artillery and stuff like that. God, I can't remember. Pack 32s, and I can't remember what they're even... I can't remember the numbers. Join you for a zombies match? Perhaps someday. Have you thought about doing a gaming stream or another type of stream? Yeah, I'm not set up to stream games right now. I will at some point. Life stuff really busy right now, so just getting that to happen. This is about all I can do is grab my phone when I have some time and talk for a while. The most interesting and technical part of pop is the production. To me, that's all that there is. The songwriting is boring. Here's the thing. I actually took a lot of musical influence from 90s and early 2000s pop. Even boy bands like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys had the Max Martin songwriting team and all those people who do amazing chord work. And, there's a lot of musical information to be gleaned from that. But now, it's just, there's nothing, at least for what I like. There's in metal, just not in pop. Anger Fist or The Purge. Okay, I'll try that out. Synthwave. Yeah, Synthwave is cool. Turbo Killer and Carpenter. Okay. Yeah, I can't find any time to game. It's just it doesn't feel like it used to be. And what did I mean? I don't know if I'm at that age where I'm like, kids and I don't do that stuff. I don't know what it is, or if it's just the times. Because games, if you ask me, like games as an aggregate, there's still companies that are going to shoot huge hits, but like, you know, 10, 20 years ago, like every game was just huge everywhere, and just the gaming itself came into its own being and beat the movie industry, and it was just such a peak that, you know, just relevant, or compared to that, it's different now. Ever met Mr. No, I have not. Do you like breakcore? I'm not sure. Does Elena and Luca play guitar too? They do. You kids in your blank. You'll say it someday, I promise. Yeah, see, there's games like Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate. I see that, I think it's probably just me. I'm complaining. I'm an old man yelling at cloud is probably what I am. I think the world revolves around my perspective, so maybe that's all it is. Stop, Kevin. Any advice on someone who wants to try and make it anywhere in music? It depends on how in music you want to be somewhere. Like, do you want to be a composer or a songwriter? Because that takes, obviously, knowing your craft very well, and then being somewhere where you can get hired. Unless you want to just be a touring act, then you just need to get out there and start playing. You just need to be doing your thing constantly, and, it takes time. You're babysitting all of us if you think about it. Elden Ring, yeah, I should probably play that. Yeah, Base Shrine, I think you're right. Like, the who the who the musician or the artist is has started becoming more important than what they're writing. In some cases, there's never 100% or 0%, but I don't know. And everything just feels so manufactured. I haven't heard Morning High. That sounds cool. Thrash from Arizona. I'd check that out. Yeah, time and dedication. I realize that's not. It's a hard question to answer. Is how do you get somewhere in music? Because there's, you're not going to see necessarily a job application like, musician wanted. There might be bands wanting to hire somebody, but you're not going to get, some major, like, there was no path to where I am. The path didn't exist. There was no ask for it. There was no space to fill. It was just a place where I was, and we saw something. We had to bring some value to the table, and I thought I could do it through music. People liked it, and that's where it is. Because that's what you have to bring, is people want value. Personal favorite song composed? I don't really have a favorite. Is there some kind of making of you making the songs, the sounds? I haven't done anything like that. That would be cool, though. Yeah, the machete in hand through the woods. Yeah. Yeah, kind of like that. Bulvi from the 13th Warrior says, is luck will often enough profit a man if his courage hold. Meaning, you have to go into the battle and swing your sword and be brave, and eventually that small chance of something good happening will happen. But you have to put in the work. Those elitist kid forums to find new bands, yeah. Black metal, I love black metal. Well, I mean, I like black metal. Again, I don't name a lot of bands. I mean, I'm from the Dimmu Borgir age, so they're one of my favorites from that time. Emperor, some Mayhem. I guess you call it Celtic Frost. Again, I'm probably dating myself with that. What's up, Alex Kane? Do I like Mexican food? Hell yes. I actually, I've had like a cold for like a month, and when the weather got colder, there's a place I ordered 4 orders of menudo, and I kept them in the fridge, and I ate one of them a day. I love menudo. Trade partnering with a wine company. Ever thought about creating a solo song? Do you mean like, what do you mean like a solo song? Solo as in just me, or solo as in like Ingve soloing? Oh, C. Kane, K. Kane. And I referenced 13th Warrior. That's one of my top 5 movies, top 5 favorite movies. I'm partnered with old Rip Van Winkle. Yeah, yeah. I would. I don't care what I would have to do. I would absolutely shill for them in order to get free Rip Van Winkle, old Pappy. Like just me? Oh yeah. I mean, kind of go off on my own. Yeah, I want to do something outside the game universe, but I have to find time. I do want to do that. I will do that. That is going to happen somehow. I've been working on figuring out how to manage that. Although if I'm able to put songs out for games often enough and increase that, then there'd be no need to go out and do it on my own. So I want to make more music more often instead of like, what is it, like 4 songs every 2 or 3 years or something like that. I'd like to do much more. I have to figure out how to make that happen. Does that answer your question? Oh man, now I'm thinking about Pappy Van Winkle. It's not fair. What do you do in between all that time? Not to say that it doesn't consume a lot of it. Well, I mean, my primary job is, lead sound designer at, at Treyarch, so it's just working on sound and game stuff, which is great, you know. Maybe good night. Thank you for coming out. You've been getting into black metal? That's cool. Based. Do people still call people posers? I haven't heard that in a while. Here's a song Metallica wrote about Mayhem? I don't think so. What's the name of the song? I didn't know they wrote one about Mayhem. Mankind. Have I heard that? I don't know. I haven't heard anything beyond Load, I don't think. I mean, I've heard it, but just not really listened to it. For any other reason, I'm just not into it. I haven't even listened to classic Metallica either. Just taste changed. I don't know why I don't listen to much music anymore. You'd think I would, huh? But I just don't. Is Lena Sigmund going to be in future zombie songs? If there's a need for a future zombie song at any time, there's no reason I wouldn't take Elena if I wanted to write a song for her. Gatorade, yeah. My Gatorade commercial on my channel. Metallica tabled after load. I mean, it depends on who you ask. I think newer people get into them because they're like a whole different band. But I don't fault them for it at all. Uh, I just, the type of music I like was old Metallica, and I didn't really even like Load. Like, the last one I liked was Black Album. So that and everything before. You just learned to play 115 on guitar. Diego's Rage, nice. How are you playing it? Are you inside picking an alternate? Music was the reason you want to learn guitar? Awesome, man. Yeah, I prefer older Metallica too, but, again, I don't fault bands for changing. I mean, because that's just what they're going to do. It's not like you can keep writing, Ride the Lightning over and over, because they're just change. So they could either not write anything or write something, and it's better that they write something. Newstead, yeah. Hyper Lois, love your work. After all these years, keep coming back. Right on. You're alt picking. I picked down and up on a 6-string. Oh, you're doing 6-string drop C. Cool. So when you start, because it's a 16th pattern with a pickup note, so that first note is not on the first of the measure. So you're starting with a downstroke, I assume. Jet Wasbres. I tried playing 105 on drums and just can't. I just start slow with a metronome. You'll get it. It's not too difficult. Although I don't play it myself, but as far as drums go, there's much harder stuff out there. What got you into songwriting? Biggest inspiration? I mean, I just loved rock music, and I just wanted to make it. And I loved, when you get chills when you hear certain parts of songs, and I wanted to be able to recreate that. So there's too many inspirations to even mention. But I mean, like way back in the beginning, like as a little kid, I heard "You Give Love a Bad Name" by Bon Jovi, and hearing the electric guitar distorted on there, I was like, I want to get a guitar, and that's kind of what started it. Even younger, when I was really young, when Tears for Fears, Head Over Heels first came out, I was really obsessed with that song. I listen to it now, I realize it was in Lydian. It's just a very cool written song, but it's a weird inspiration to have, I guess. Start with the downstroke. Yeah, because it you can perfectly alternate because it does turn around, but you can also start with an upstroke, and that also works too. It's a weird thing. Vivan los novios. Vivan los novios. Am I saying that right? Did you write Elena Sigmund vocals? Yes, I wrote all the vocals. How many instruments can I play? Well, I mean, my primary is guitar. I obviously can play bass. I can play piano well enough to write. Drums, not. I mean, I can kind of play them, but I, program and edit. That's about it. Most of the drums in my songs are programmed by me, except for Archangel, which I did program originally, but then I had Darren write his own part based on what I wrote. Trying to learn the Freebird solo, nice. You going to bed, Kane? All right. Thanks for coming out. Watch more anime. Dumbest mistake I've ever made while recording? Oh man, there's so many. I mean, there's mistakes all over all the songs. I don't know if I could pick one. I don't know if I call them dumb. It's more just like, I'm gonna move on. Although I think in Alone there might be some phase issues that I never realized because of some plugin. Although I never verified that. I don't know if that would be a dumb mistake, though. That would be a mistake on the tool's part. That first chills moment was hearing 115 right on. Alternate picking isn't just one technique, more like a family of them. Yeah. I mean, unless you say strict alternate, which means, you know, down up, never doing any sort of economy. Joe Stump makes a good joke about that. He's like, I feel like if I don't do an upstroke after a downstroke, the picking police are going to show up at my door. Thanks, Diego's. Oh, Diego is Rage. Have you ever done an Easter egg song? What do you mean? Hellhammer. I'm sure I've heard Hellhammer, but I can't think of their songs at the moment. Worst dish I've ever gotten at a restaurant? I mean, I've gone to some like seafood places and it's just terrible. And that's happened a number of times. I'm always trying to find a good like a crab boil place. They dump all the seafood on the table and you eat with your hands. California, you could find those places everywhere, but then in other places, ugh. What am I working on now? I am currently writing stuff, as I always am in the stage of writing, but what it is and what it's for, you'll have to wait and see. Highest run on zombies? I don't even know. There's nothing impressive. I mean, I would have to be with someone who can do high rounds, and I'm just kind of tagging along. I used to be good at zombies when it first came out because I was playing it all the time, but when you don't play for a while, you get really bad really quick. At least I do. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a night here before I die of hypothermia. So it was good talking with y'all, and hopefully when I take some time off soon here, I'll do some more of these and try to get some more goodies out for everybody, like a tab book and some merch and maybe some, I don't know, some insider info on how the recording sessions are and that kind of stuff. So I appreciate you guys coming out and love you all. Talk to you soon.